Hey guys, it's Fred and Sheila McCoy. We are at the Hatfield McCoy Museum in Liberty, Kentucky. FredMcCoy.com for all the information. Sheila's behind the camera.
Good morning, guys. Hope you're having a great morning.
It's going to be a real short, well, I don't know. I may just add two videos together.
Okay.
So the first thing, you know, a lot of times people have asked throughout the years, and you may have even thought this to yourself, why did Randall McCoy not save his three boys?
Okay.
Why? And you know, and that goes to the mentality of Randall McCoy as far as the heartache, the headache, the second guessing, the devastation. He had to be in turmoil to wonder whether he made the right decisions and didn't make the right. Had he known they were going to kill his three boys, there's no doubt, what did he have to lose?
Exactly.
If he had known that they would kill his three boys, he would have went and tried to rescue them. That's any parent. We don't have to. That's Hatfield McCoy. It don't matter what the last name is. That's a father's instinct, a family person.
Yeah, but he didn't know that, so he was trying to go on the safe route.
He didn't know that, but let's go over this court testimony. Now, this is in several statements on the other side there that we were going over.
Okay.
And this one here is from Joseph Hatfield. And this is in court when they were trying to wall Hatfield and the different Hatfields that they'd brought back across the river after the 88 cabin burnout. Wall Hatfield said to Randolph McCoy as they started down the creek with the prisoners. Now, Devil Anse had already taken the three boys from the constables. But as they're going down Blackberry from Preacher Anse's cabin there down toward McCarr and toward May Creek, Wall Hatfield told Randall McCoy with the prisoners, we understand that we are to be bushwhacked, and if we are, understand that we will kill the three boys first. And that was Wall's statement to Randall McCoy. That's not just Joseph Hatfield's statement there. There's several court documents over there that's been translated and for Wall Hatfield, and that's one reason Wall Hatfield got life in prison. Of course, he was at the pawpaw trees, but he told Randall McCoy, he said, if you try to bushwhack us, if you try to intersect us or take the three boys from us, first thing we're going to do is kill the three boys. So would that make much sense for Randall McCoy to try to do something? And that's when Randall McCoy took off and went to Pikeville to try to get justice, to try to get the law involved, to try to get his boys brought back to Kentucky and arrested and all that. It just never came to.
No,
but you know, that's tormented Randall throughout the years to think to himself, well, if I'd known they was going to die, I'd been better off to try to save them.
Exactly.
But hindsight's 20/20. The Commonwealth introduced as a witness James McCoy. Now remember, James McCoy, here's a picture of him. That's Jim McCoy. That's Randall McCoy's oldest son. Who proves that he is the brother of Tolbert. This is his testimony in court.
Okay.
Tolbert, Randolph Jr., and Farmer McCoy. He says that he saw him on August the 9th of 82 in Make Creek in the state of West Virginia. He says he also saw him on Blackberry Creek the day of the election at Reverend Anderson Hatfield's house around 12 o'clock. They were tied arm in arm, and all of them were tied together. I saw several persons there. I saw the defendant. Now, at this time here, they're talking about Mayhorn, Doc Mayhorn.
Okay.
So he saw Doc Mayhorn there, and they all had guns. Soon after I got there, Bad Ants, instead of Devil Ants, he's calling them Bad Ants, formed a line and said, let all Hatfield men or friends fall into the line. And you remember T.C. Crawford said this in his book. If you've seen the T.C. Crawford review we did, T.C. Crawford, when they were there that night, Roseanne come riding in and said they've arrested Johnson. And Devil Ants got everybody together and said, let's go. Good Elias wasn't going to go. And Devil Anse told him, says, if you don't go, ye ain't no Hatfield.
That's right.
And once again, every time I say that, it reminds me of this DNA we're requesting. Maybe he ain't no Hatfield in the end, but we'll know soon enough. Someday somebody will get a DNA. But going back to this, Bad Ants formed a line and said, all that's for the Hatfields, friends, line up here. And they did. Ants said, when the whole crowd then went down to Blackberry Creek, Devil Anse and the rest of them started down Blackberry Creek with the 3 McCoy boys toward Maitland.
Okay.
And they got down through there about a mile and a half, and Ants said to me, this is Jim McCoy talking.
Okay.
Remember, this is the good friend of the Hatfields, according to William Keith. Jim McCoy was a good friend, and he's a peacemaker, and he's this and that. Well, Devil Anse looked at him and said to me, I had no business to go any further, and I stopped. Ants further said that he had a notion to tell the officers that he had no further use for them. And then they took the boys onto Mate Creek, onto the school. So he told Jim McCoy, about a mile and a half down the road, got no use for you. This is far enough. You don't need to go no further. And Jim McCoy turned back. He also told the constables that was following along. Now, they'd already taken the 3 McCoy boys, but the constables were following. And he told them, I've got no more use for you. In other words, don't follow us no further. He sent them back. He went to the schoolhouse the next day, Jim McCoy did, to see his brothers, where my brothers was in an old schoolhouse on Wednesday, August the 9th. I saw Bad Ants, Cat, Johns, Hatfield, Doc, Compliant Mayhorn, Alex Messer, Tom Mitchell, and some others. All had guns. You know, that reminds me of this gentleman's comment. We done a video on it a while back where he says the Hatfields were outgunned. The reason they lost the Battle of the Grapevine is they were outgunned. Now, Hatfields had guns way back. They're talking here about their Winchesters, and all of them had rifles or pistols. So they didn't lose the Battle of Grapevine because they didn't have guns. They lost the Battle of Grapevine because Sarah finally turned Randall loose and said, go get them.
Yeah.
And they did. And that's when they brought the 9 of them back. My brothers were dead when I found them. Found on the Kentucky shore, a short distance from the river, in a sink or flat place. And if you've ever been down there where the pawpaw trees, historical marker is in that area there, that's supposedly where they done the killings at when they brought the boys back across the river, all tied together to pawpaw bushes. Tolbert had one in his hand over his head, where he put his hand up, evidently went through his arm and then through his head. Made an examination of my brothers and found Palmer had 16 shots, at least 16 shots. Randall Jr. had the whole top of his head shot off.
Wow.
And 6 or 7 shots in Tolbert. And you know, we've said for years and years and years, and our people before us have always said it, that Devil Anse, he offered to let Randall Jr., by then he had found out that he had taken the wrong boy. It was Wilm they were looking for, not Randall Jr.
Not Randall.
Randall Jr. was 15 years old and had nothing to do with it. And when he told him, said, get on your knees and beg and I'll let you live, he's trying to give him a way out where Devil Anse could save face. He didn't want to just shoot the 15-year-old boy. So he gives him a way out, thinking that he would take it, just like Preacher Ants thought 6 McCoys and 6 Hatfields would vote for their own family. Things don't always work out when you're dealing with Hatfields and McCoys.
Yep, that's for
And
sure.
they get on your knees and beg and I'll let you live. And he says, to hell with you, Ants Hatfield. Devil Anse turned like he's walking away, or may have been going to walk away. And then it hit him, and high-tempered, Selkirk says he's the most high-tempered person he'd ever seen. Of course, he's got all them people there watching him. He's got a saved face in front of them. Pulled his gun out and blew his head off. That's the statement, you know.
Wow.
Now, there's been statements throughout the years that says Alex Messer took credit for, or the blame for shooting Randall Jr. There's all kinds of different stories. And But you got to understand also that during this time, just like Cap did with Cotton Top, there's another statement in there where they talk about Alifair, about Cap actually shooting Alifair.
Okay.
And of course, he gave Cap, Cotton Top a saddle, and supposed to give him $500 and a rifle, and going to break him out of jail. So Cotton Top thought the Hatfields could do anything. He thought they was going to get him. And same way with Alex Messer here. I think Alex Messer received some running money. All he wanted was money to run on at the time. So he gave a statement that he's killed him or whatever. But anyway, it's Fred and Sheila McCoy. We are at the Hatfield and McCoy Museum in Liberty, Kentucky. What is it?
So we got all kinds
I
of
seen you keep showing this.
Yeah, I didn't get it up close.
Well, here, let me let you go
ahead.
and finish. And that's just some of our exhibits. We were talking a while back about Randall McCoy, see how we drift, about Randall McCoy not having moonshine recipe, and he doesn't. But we also said there's stuff that Hatfield McCoy made years ago, White Lightning, just to have the two names on there. That was way back before the moonshine story or anything else. But, and even though that there is no Randall McCoy recipe, we said in that video that as soon as we ever see it, we're going to buy it. We'll get us a bottle or two just to put into the museum along with the other items that we've got. And I was thinking, I don't know if we've ever even showed that or not. And that would have came from a preacher Ance's side, an old bayonet from the Civil War. And there's some old relics. You know, I see people with relics, and this is from years ago. I've seen people digging up relics that they look as good digging them out of the ground as they do right there in that case. And when something's been in the ground, I know when we found a lot of our stuff, when it's been in the ground for 100 years, it don't look like that when you bring it out. It might after you clean it up, but and there's some that we done back in 2011, 2012, whenever it was, and that was from the cave. And so we know all the experience. There's our metal detector. There's our little small metal detector, and then there's the other one that we used. And we've got a video from that from 12, 15 years ago. And other than that, Sheila, I'm just rambling on. You got something to say?
Please like, subscribe, and share. Catch you on the next one.
Hey guys, I will say this.
Okay.
You may want to subscribe. If you're not subscribed to her channel, you may want to subscribe so you can get notices, because we're going to post several videos here in the next few days. One of them in particular is going to be probably pretty controversial, which, like I said before, anything dealing with the Hatfields and McCoys is controversial.
Yeah, I agree.
But this one's going to be probably more controversial than the rest, and it's keeping it real, and it's not something we came up with. It's something that somebody contacted us about and brought our attention to it, and we started looking into it. We've been looking into it for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we finally done a video on it yesterday, and she's probably going to post it this evening or tomorrow. But if you're not subscribed, you may want to subscribe so when that video comes out, you won't miss it, because it's going to be a long one. I hope you like long videos. If you don't have to watch it.
That's right.
You may watch it in parts, but hopefully it holds your attention till you get to the end and see the results of what we uncovered and what we found, and might be interesting to you. It's Fred and Sheila McCoy. Like,
Subscribe.
ring that bell.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.